Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. And today our Sudoku is going to be capillary action. Don't hurt me for this pronunciation here, but in parentheses, Dochtwirkung. I believe it's German, if I get that correct. Again, I don't speak the language, so if I've messed that up royally, don't get too mad at me. Anyway, it's by Willpower, and you'll see there's quite a bit of a connection of a bunch of not puzzles, but clues here. Kind of reminds me of one that we just did recently called Stitch, but that was kind of flowing in this direction and had a bunch of things working together to create that. But enough said with that. Let's get into our rules and hopefully into our solve. So we've got normal Sudoku rules apply. So every row, every column, and every 3x3 box, of course, contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. We've got killer cages, so numbers in cages, sum to 15, just right to it, no need to say anything else. All of these cages must add up to 15, or the digits within them must sum up to 15. We've got Kropki Pairs, so numbers with a white dot. Between them are consecutive, so these digits, they are in some consecutive order, so 2, 3, 4 would work perfectly fine there. 5, 6, 7, you name it, as long as they are consecutive as they move along the white dots. And we've got numbers with a black dot between them are in a ratio of 2 to 1. So these are our black dots. We've got a bunch of them climbing up and down this diagonal, and that just means that whatever this digit may be, this digit either excuse me, I lost my throat there. This digit is either half or double of the other digit. And then we've got one more set of rules, which is XV pairs, so numbers with a V between them sum to 5, and we've got 3 of those clue sets, as it states. This is not a greater than or less than sign, this is an XV pair sign, so these two digits will equal to 5. And then the very last little thing to put on here is that not all possible dots and V's are given, so there are no negative constraints. All right, with that said, let's jump into this one and see what we can figure out. Now, looking at it, the most obvious thing for me, need to mute my phone just in case. The most obvious thing for me is the black Kropki dots, since there seems to be quite a few of them. There's also these white Kropki dots, which have a little bit of something to work with them, but because they, there's 4 different dots here, and they're all in some way related to each other, but since they cross over into a different region from one side to the other, there is a possibility that things could double back on each other, so they're not quite as useful as I would normally think they would be in that type of a layout. So going back, of course, to our black Kropki dots, well, we know a few things about black Kropki dots, and one of the main ones is that we can never have a 5, 7, or a 9 on any of them, because you can't have or double either of those 3 digits and have a valid Sudoku digit, at least not in a typical Sudoku. So what does that mean? Well, since we've got all of these are on black Kropki dots, I mean, these 3 digits must be 5, 7, and 9. Can we do something similar in any of these other ones? I don't think we can. No, not quite. I mean, we can rule out 5, 7, and 9 from all of these 5s as well, but since there's not a whole lot going on there, that might be a bit hard to really sink our teeth into. Now, can we do anything further? Well, let's look at this one, maybe. Well, we know we've got, so there's 3 pairs of black dots that you can put together. And that is whenever they are all in a same region, so that there are no possibilities of repeats. So you can do 1, 2, you can do 4, 8, and you can do 3, 6. So we have to have all 3 of those, because you clearly can't do 2, 4 in one of them, because then you'd have a 3-6 on another one, but then you'd have a 1 and an 8 somehow having to connect together, and that doesn't work, obviously. So we know we have a 2-4 pair, a 3-6 pair, and a 1-2 pair, a 4-8 pair, and a 3-6 pair. Now, can we rule out any of those from here? Because these are both in a 15 cage. Well, 1-2 will never work, because that would just create 3, so these would have to equal 12. So we know this is not a 1-2 pair. Now, the 4-8 and the 3-6 may not be as useful, but let's give it a try. Let's start with 3-6. So 3-6 is 9. So therefore, it is useful. If this was a 3-6, that would equal 9. Then we'd have to put another 6 in here, so that breaks the puzzle. So this has to be 4-8, which is interesting. Now, if these are 4-8, that equals 12, so this has to be a 3, so this has to be a 6. And we know that these have to be from 1 and 2. Now, we've got a 6 here, so we clearly can't put a 9 in here. Now, 6 and 5 is 11. You'd have to have 4. We don't have enough there. 6 and 7, wow, took me a second there. My brain wasn't quite working. 6 and 7 would have to go in here. Now we've got 13, so we have to have a 2 here, a 1 here. The 7 can be removed from all of these positions. Now we're starting to go somewhere. And if we know we've got a 1 here, now we've got these, we have 14 left over. The only ways to do 14 are 9, 5, and 8, 6. Well, we've got a black Kropki dot up here, so we can never put 9 or 5 here. So therefore, this has to be an 8, 6 pair to get us up to where we need to be. And if this is a 6 or an 8, this has to be a 3 or a 4. Now, I don't think I had anything looking at this quite yet, so we might be able to move on a little bit from there. Now, what we can do is we look at this 3. We actually can look at the 3 and the 2, but we'll start with the 3, and we'll look at this V clue. Well, there's only 2 ways to make 5 in 2 digits on a normal Sudoku. It's 1, 4, and 2, 3. Well, if we have a 3 looking at this, it's going to have to be a 1, 4. And we can also do the exact same thing here, because this V clue, we've got the 2 and the 3 looking in here. So this can never be a 2 or a 3, because then this would have to be a 2 or a 3. So this is a 4, 1 as well. Now that 4 is seen from here, so we can just put 1 and 4 in. And this 1, 4 looks here, so we can put 8 and 4. Stop. Mouse. With accidentally dragging over things. So we've got some 4s and we've got some 1s now. Are giving us some things to look at. Now we know there has to be a 4 up here somewhere. I'm going to put these in real quick. We know there has to be a 1 over here because of these guys and these guys. I don't think this is going to do us much good because I don't... Well, actually, I think we can remove a 4 from here. No, we can't. No, we cannot. Sorry. I was going to say something that didn't work, so I'm not going to say it. Let's just leave those in there as future reference, because that's what they are at the moment. Now, if we've got a black Kropki dot here that cannot have a 1 or a 4 on it, so therefore it can't be from any of the 1, 2, 4s or 8s. So it has to be a 3, 6 pair. If that's a 3, 6 pair, this is a 4, this is an 8, this is a 6. And can we continue moving along our little capillary action that's going to be moving us all the way up there? So if we had a 6 here, this would be 4, this would be 5. If this was a 3, we'd have 7. This would have to be an 8. Which both of those are possible at the moment. We don't have anything excluding those. We've got a 4 here, they're looking here, so let's get those in, 1 and 4. We can also kind of do... I was going to say maybe we could do something up here with this V, but I don't think we can yet, because we've got a 1 and a 4 looking at it, but they're not on the same row. And we have a 2 looking up here, but that's not on the same row either. So I think we need to continue our little movement up our grid here, and maybe pick off some things as we move along. Yes, okay, everything's set up correctly over there. Just had to check sometimes. So if we have a 3, 6 here, and we already have a 4 here, well, this can't be 3, 6, and it can't be 4, 8, so it must be 1, 2, and we've got a 1 pointing at it. So this is 2, this is 1. Now, if we've got a 2 here, this can't be 3, because then this would have to be 10, so this is 6 and 3. And now we know this is the 7, so this has to be the 8. This is 8, so this has to be 7. Just looking back every now and again to see if any of these marks are getting used up. So now that we have a 1 here, we've got to go back to our 14 possibilities. And again, the only way to do a 14 is either 9, 5, or 8, 6. This digit here cannot be 9 or 5 because of our black Kropki dot. So again, we end up with our 8, 6 pair. If we got our 8, 6 pair, we know this is a 3 or a 4. Now, does that give us the exact same thing that this gave us? I'm not sure it did, because I thought we came into this one in a slightly different way. Because we either have 12 or 11 left over. Can we use that right now? I don't think we can. Yeah. I think there was a different bit of logic that got us to this point that finished these guys up, which isn't present up here at the moment. So let's just look at these 2 digits since they are the only ones remaining. They have to be from 5 and 9. And those are not giving us anything either. So we've got a 5, 9, 5, 9 looking up. We may very well have a 5, 9. Oh, nope, I just clicked something bad. Okay, that didn't go anywhere. I accidentally clicked a random button just above the screen. That would have taken me someplace that I did not want you guys to see. Nothing bad, it just would have been, might have revealed information. Ooh. Just joking, it wouldn't have been anything. So, let's continue on. We've got, can we do anything with these black Kropki dots again? So we know we have to get, we have ace, one of these is something. If this, and then the other 2 obviously has to be either from, so we have either the 1, 2, the 4, 8, or the 3, 6. Now we clearly can't have both a 3, 6 and a 4, 8. But we don't necessarily, we could end up with a 2, 4. No, we can't do a 2, 4 because then that ruins everything. So, okay, yeah, so it does have to be from a 1, 2 and a 3, 6, or it has to be from either, it's either a 1, 2 and a 3, 6, or it's a 1, 2 and a 4, 8. There we go. So can we use anything there? Now, can this one be a 1, 2 pair? It could if it was a 2, and this was a 4, and this could be a 9. So that is a possibility there. Okay. Maybe it is time to start looking at this guy right here, because we've got quite a few things looking at it now. So what can we put here? Maybe is a good place to start looking at it. Well, we can't put a 9 because we'd have to go down to 8. We can't put an 8 because we already see an 8. So this could be, I'm just going to put in like mins and maxes right now and see how it flows. So if this was a 6, it'd go into 6 and 5. It can't be 6, could have to be 5, 4. It can't be 5 because it would be 5. Well, it could be 5, 6, 7 up this way, so let's not rule that out. We said it couldn't ever be 4, 3, or 2. So I think the only 2 ways this actually does work is if this is 5, 6, 7, or 7, 6, 5. Let me just make sure one last time. Yeah, because we can't use 3, 4, or 1, and you can't use a 2, clearly, because then you've got nowhere to go. So the only things left are 5, 6, and 7. So 5 and the 7 have to be on the outside, and the 6 has to be in the middle. That gives me my 9 and my 5, and that gives me my 8 and my 6, and now I can continue on into my 4 here. Now let's get rid of our 4 there. And we know this is 5 or 7. Well, it can't be 5. Well, can it be 5? No, it could be 5, sorry. I don't know why I'm having issues with the counting today. If this is 5 or 7, this could either be 4, 6, 8. Those are the options, but it can't be 6. So it's either 4 or 8. Now, if we have pretty much everything here, so this is going to have to be a 2. Now we can use our 2's up here for our V, because we can never do a 3, 2, so it has to be a 1, 4, and we know which way it goes around. So this is 1, this is 4. Now I think we're pretty much going to be done with 4s. There's a little bit we can still clean up, but all of these are out, so we have to have a 4 here. And we've got the X-wing on 4s here and here. So that's where we are with those. Is 1 anything close to that as well? If it has anything, I'll give it a look, but I think I'm going to move on. So we've got 11. We know we have the 4s out, so we can't do a 4, 8. So the 8 cannot be on any of these ones. So we know we have a 1, 2, and a 3, 6. So these are from 1, 2, and 3, 6. Now this can't be 1, so this can't be 2, and this can't be 6, so this can't be 3. This can never be 1, because if this is 1, this is a 5, and this would have to be a 10, so this is not a 2. So let's look at what this can be, since we are just about to the end of our rope here. If this is 4 and this is 6, this would have to be a 5. This is 4 and this is 2, this would have to be a 9. So again, we got a little 5, 9 action going on. So we need to also have a 7 and no, not that. The only other digits here are 7s and 8s that have to be somewhere in here. Now, can we do something here with this cage real quick? Or do we need to move on to something else at the moment? Now, if this was a 1, this would have to be a 2. This would have to be a 6. So this would end up, that would end up being a 7. This would have to be an 8. Now, if this was a 3, this would be a 1. That would be a 4, and that would break. So this is going to have to be the 1, I do believe. Right? Because if this is 3, this is 6. 3 and 6, this would have to be a 1. So now we only have 4 digits left, and this would have to equal 11. So yes, this cannot be 3. So this has to be 1 and 2. And these are a 3, 6 pair. Now that we know this is a 6 here, this has to be 9. If this is a 3, 6, let's run through this. Yes, so it can't be 1, 4, so it has to be 1, 6, and 3. So that's a doot in the corner. We've got our 7 here, so we do have our 8 up here. And we've got 2 digits left, which are 5 and 7, and those are not sorted just yet. But they do give us a couple of pairs looking down. So can we do anything more, or can we switch into more of a Sudoku roll here until we can get the remaining digits figured out? So let's just look at this column real quick. Is there any place that the 1s, well, there's 2 places for a 1. The 3s could be in multiple places. The 6 has to be down here somewhere because it can't be in any of these. And we've got 2 6s looking at it, so this has to be 6. And then what's left over, the 9 is the other digit, and the 9 can go pretty much anywhere. So that looks like it's all we're going to get for now. Let's see. Now, can we do anything with this 4, 8? Let's just make sure I didn't mismark something. Or there isn't something pointing at something obvious. So if this is 5 or 7, this is either, because it can't be 6, 4, or 8. If this is 4 or 8, this is going to have to be, well, could it be, let's just take a look at it. If it's 4, let's just say if it's 8. If it's 8, it's 9 or 7. There's nothing necessarily deterring that just on this face value. Now, if it's a 4, it's either a 3 or a 5, and it can't be a 3, or multiple 3s are looking at it. But if this was a 5, this would have to go down to a 4 and then back up to a 5, which breaks, so that can't be a 5. So this has to be 8. this is going to have to be 7 and 5, and then that 7 sees the 9. So there we go. And now we've got the 1 that we can just place here. All that's good. Our 4 now has to go here because it can't go anywhere else because our markings have been removed, so we can get rid of all that good stuff. The 7 is going to tell us our 5 and our 7. And we haven't quite looked yet at our 5 9s that we started with in the corner, but that's okay. So now we need a 1 somewhere, so it has to go here because this one sees it, and we need a 2. These 2 digits have to be from 3 and 5. No, 3 and 9. This has to be 3, this has to be 9. These 2 end up being from 5 and 7. I don't see anything at the moment that says you can't do that. And then these have to be from, what, 2 and 3? Yeah, we've got a 2, so this is 3 and 2. And then we can look back over here. We need a 3 and a 5. Nothing there yet. Where else is it probably easiest to look at something? Maybe I should just go through our motions on Sudoku. Yep, so we get a 1. I think that finished the ones, didn't it? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so the ones are done. The 2s, we can put a 2 here. We can put a 2 here. And we can put a 2 here. So that should finish our 2s off. And then we'll jump into our 3s, which we've got a 3 here. I think this is going to set everything off in terms of what we need. Well, we've got an X-wing of 3s up here, so we'll come back to that. And now that we've put some more digits in, let's just switch back over to looking at it normally instead of cross-referencing everything. So we've got this column which has to have a 5 and an 8. The 5 has to go up here because of that 8 and an 8. These 2 digits have to be 7 and 9. So this is 7 because of this 9. Now that 7 is going to give us 5 and 7. And this is a 5 because that's all that's left over. It's going to give us our 9 and our 5. Click on it, please. Thank you. What do we have left to look at? Our 5. Let's finish off our markings that we've already done. And let's look at these 2 since they're the most restricted at the moment. We've got 6 and 9. We've got a 9 down here. So this is 6 and this is 9. These 2 have to be from 7 and 8. Not finished yet. How about these 2 here? Because these are the, again, most restricted. We end up with 5 and 7, it looks like, and there's a 5 here, so that gives us our 7 and our 5. These 2 digits have to be from 6 and 9. We've got a 6 here, so 9, 6. And it looks like this is just cleaning up nicely now. And here we are left with 7 and 9, so we've got 7, 9. Let's finish up our markings that we just made. And then we are left with our last 2 digits, which is 8 and 3. And there we go. Looks as good as far as I can tell. So that one was quite interesting, and it flowed very well and quite easily. And I hope it would flow well because the title of it is Capillary Action. But yeah, it had a great flow to it. Willpower, again, thank you for making an excellent puzzle for us to solve. I hope you all enjoyed that one, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.